Hello everyone, this is Mr. Brass, and this is just a little quick video while I'm coming back from the store. I wanted to just get this off the record and just say, guys, please don't let yourself be emotionally manipulated by women anymore. At least not in the West. I talk about pro-life stuff all the time. And a big thing that I do see very common from the pro-choice crowd is that they will invoke the dreaded maternal death rates and all this pretty nasty stuff. They say that the risk that women occur. You have to realize what all that really amounts to in the end. Like, the reason why that they're presenting that to you, it's not actually for honest tactics when you get right down to it. You see, when you actually know a bit about evolution, you know about why some of our instincts came about. And when you know this, where some of these instincts came about, it really does start to change you in what ways that you look at the world. And when they show that all these big occurrent risks that women face, you have to be reminded that women, provided that they only have one child, they are asked out of their 80 years that they get, 5 more years than they get than men. They're expected to feel what men feel like for 9 months. Basically, the feeling is disposability. That's a big thing that they often go about, is disposability, that women feel like they're being treated as disposable if they're being laid out during a pregnancy. I said, if you only have one child, and that's 9 months out of your time. That's 9 months out of your entire life, out of your 80 years, where you get to feel where you get that feeling of disposability. Men, we get that feeling from the time we hit puberty to almost nearly the day we die. If I can be expected to brave through 60 years of feeling disposable, women can brave through 9 months. And this whole putting on these maternal death rates and all these apparent risks with pregnancy, what it's really supposed to do is it enacts the entire protect the women instinct in our brain. You see, we as a species evolved this instinct to protect women because we're not stupid. Women are the ones that have children, and they have the babies, so they need to be protected. And this was the case. This instinct, if we hadn't evolved this instinct, we would have died out as a species. I think currently in the West, and with the current population of the world, we can afford to ditch that mentality. We can ditch that instinct. It's not going to be easy, but we can afford it. Women have the political, they have the working power. There's guns and there's tools at their disposal. They do not need men for the physical strength anymore. They don't need men for the emotional or the financial. They can have that on their own. So we really need to stop letting ourselves getting emotionally manipulated and having these instincts of ours triggered, and recognize that that's what's happening. And it's not just that our emotions are being manipulated, it's that we're being asked to go against what the instincts are for. the entire instinct, as I said, was to protect women. Why? Because to protect the woman was in effect to protect the child. That was the big thing, is to protect the child inside the woman. Protecting the woman was the indirect. You had to protect the woman. That was the bargaining chip that she had on her. Basically, you could say that it's a hostage situation, and the man sort of, by consequence, has to protect the woman if he wants to protect the child. Well, with things like abortion and stuff like that, using that sort of protect the woman mentality is pretty stupid, because it's going against the very purpose of the instinct to begin with. It was to protect the child. So, like I said, if you're a woman, especially one I'm dating, and you're for abortion, which probably that would be a deal breaker for me right off the bat, but if we do date, just know this, that the whole protection thing goes right out the window with me. The moment you say you're pro-choice, I ain't offering it because I know where the instinct comes from, and I'm not going to allow myself to fall into it. The trap of being emotionally manipulated and being expected to risk my one life for little to nothing in return. Life's an investment, and I really do not see the investment, in at least modern day, going anywhere. Alright, well, that is all for today. This is Mr. Brass saying goodbye and get wise.